What is Stoicism? A comprehensive guide to understanding and applying Stoic philosophy. Introduction. Stoicism is an ancient philosophical tradition that emerged in Athens during the early 3rd century. Founded by Zeno of Citium, this school of thought centers on the principles of rationality, self-discipline, and the pursuit of virtue as the ultimate path to a fulfilled and meaningful existence. Unlike other philosophies that dwell on abstract metaphysical questions, Stoicism is deeply practical, offering a framework for navigating the challenges of life with wisdom and resilience. Over time, Stoicism was further refined and expanded by prominent figures such as Cleanthes, Chrysippus, the Roman statesman Seneca, the former slave-turned-philosopher Epictetus, and the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, whose personal reflections in Meditations have become one of the most influential Stoic texts. At its core, Stoicism teaches individuals to distinguish between what is within their control and what is not, fostering an attitude of acceptance and composure in the face of adversity. This mindset helps cultivate inner peace, mental fortitude, and ethical decision-making, equipping individuals with the tools to lead a life of purpose and integrity. In this comprehensive guide, we will explore the fundamental principles of Stoicism and examine how they can be applied in daily life. Through practical examples and philosophical insights, we aim to provide a thorough understanding of how Stoicism remains a timeless and relevant guide for personal development and resilience. The core principles of Stoicism. 1. Dichotomy of control. One of the core principles of Stoic philosophy is the distinction between what is within our control and what lies beyond our influence. This concept, emphasized by Epictetus, is central to Stoicism and serves as a guiding framework for how we approach life. In his Enchiridion, Epictetus famously wrote, "Some things are up to us and some are not." This simple yet profound idea invites us to reflect on the nature of our circumstances and our responses to them. By acknowledging that there are elements of life that we cannot change, such as the actions of others, the weather, or unforeseen events, we are encouraged to focus on the one thing that we do have power over: ourselves. Our thoughts, decisions, emotions, and behaviors are entirely within our control, while external events, including the past and the future, are outside our direct influence. Understanding this dichotomy leads us to a crucial realization. Much of the suffering and anxiety we experience comes from attempting to control or resist things that are inherently uncontrollable. This understanding calls for a shift in mindset, one that emphasizes personal responsibility and empowers us to take ownership of our reactions. Instead of being overwhelmed by external pressures or worrying about things that are out of our hands, Stoicism urges us to focus our efforts on cultivating self-discipline, emotional resilience, and rational thinking. When we invest our energy into managing our thoughts and attitudes, rather than attempting to manipulate external circumstances, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil caused by trying to control the uncontrollable. Moreover, this principle teaches us the importance of acceptance. By learning to accept the things that are beyond our control, we can find peace and tranquility in the midst of chaos. We stop resisting the natural flow of life and begin to align ourselves with reality, responding to challenges with composure rather than frustration. The dichotomy of control encourages a sense of inner freedom, where we choose how we react to situations, regardless of the circumstances. In this way, Stoicism offers a pathway to emotional stability and a deeper sense of fulfillment, grounded in the understanding that the most important thing we can control is how we choose to engage with the world. Example 1. Imagine you are caught in heavy traffic while heading to an important business meeting. You could allow frustration and anger to consume you, or you could accept the situation and make productive use of the time, perhaps by listening to an educational podcast or practicing mindfulness. A Stoic recognizes that while they cannot control traffic, they can control their emotional response and how they use their time. Example 2. Similarly, a student preparing for an exam may study diligently, knowing that their effort is within their control. However, they also acknowledge that the final grade will depend on various factors such as the exam's difficulty and the professor's grading criteria. Rather than worrying about the outcome, they focus on the effort they put into studying, ensuring they do their best within their sphere of control. Example 3. Another example is that of an athlete preparing for a major competition. They dedicate themselves to rigorous training and mental preparation, fully aware that external factors such as weather conditions, referee decisions, or an opponent's unexpected performance are beyond their control. Instead of stressing over these uncertainties, they channel their focus into maximizing their own performance, ensuring they compete to the best of their ability. By embracing the dichotomy of control, we develop resilience and emotional stability, freeing ourselves from the unnecessary turmoil caused by trying to control the uncontrollable. 2. Living in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, living in accordance with nature is not simply a call to live in harmony with the natural world, but a deeper philosophical principle that encourages alignment with the fundamental laws of the universe. This concept involves recognizing that the world operates according to its own rational and orderly logic, and as human beings, we must adjust our behavior and mindset to reflect this order, rather than struggling against it. The Stoics understood that nature encompasses more than just the physical world around us. It also includes the rational principles that govern the cosmos and the way human beings should live within it. To live in accordance with nature means to recognize that reason and virtue are the guiding forces of a well-lived life. Our actions and choices should not be driven by irrational emotions, selfish desires, or the whims of external forces, but by a rational understanding of what is good, just, and virtuous. By following reason and acting in accordance with virtue, we align ourselves with the natural order, cultivating an existence that is harmonious and purposeful. This idea also encourages us to acknowledge that nature is not always kind or predictable. The world around us is full of challenges, hardships, and unexpected changes, and living according to nature means accepting these fluctuations as part of the natural course of life. Stoicism teaches that we should not resist or resent the difficulties we encounter, but rather accept them as opportunities to grow and develop wisdom. In this way, we begin to understand that the struggles we face are not arbitrary or unjust. They are integral to our development and are part of the greater natural order. Furthermore, living in accordance with nature requires us to cultivate a sense of humility and gratitude. By acknowledging that we are a small part of a vast and interconnected universe, we are reminded of our limitations and the impermanence of all things. This awareness fosters a deeper appreciation for the present moment and encourages us to live with greater mindfulness, appreciating the beauty and order of the world around us without being attached to fleeting desires or material possessions. In essence, living according to nature calls for an understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, and the recognition that our role is not to control or dominate nature, but to harmonize with it. We should strive to make choices that reflect the natural order of things, decisions that are rational, virtuous, and in line with the greater good of the universe. By doing so, we cultivate a life of balance, integrity, and peace, fully aligned with the laws of nature. Example 1. Consider the example of a farmer who understands that he has no control over the weather. Instead of lamenting an unseasonably dry season, he adapts by implementing more efficient irrigation techniques or planting crops that are more resistant to drought. By accepting the natural order of things and working within its constraints, he maintains a sense of peace and productivity. Example 2. A doctor practicing Stoicism embodies this principle by focusing on providing the best care possible for their patients, even in cases where a cure is impossible. Instead of becoming emotionally overwhelmed by the limits of medicine, they accept that some outcomes are beyond their control and concentrate on offering comfort, guidance, and the highest quality of care they can provide. Example 3. Likewise, a business leader who follows Stoic principles understands that market fluctuations, economic downturns, and unforeseen challenges are an inherent part of the economic cycle. Rather than panicking or making impulsive decisions, they focus on ethical business practices, sound decision-making, and adapting to new circumstances with wisdom and prudence. By living in accordance with nature, we cultivate a mindset that is flexible, rational, and in tune with the larger forces that shape our existence. 3. Virtue is the only true good. For the Stoics, virtue is not merely an ideal or a moral guideline. It is the only true good that defines the essence of a well-lived life. Virtue, in Stoic philosophy, is comprised of 4 cardinal elements: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are the foundation of moral excellence, guiding individuals toward righteous living and harmonious interaction with the world. Wisdom allows us to discern what is right and true. Courage empowers us to act on those truths despite fear or adversity. Justice compels us to treat others with fairness and respect, and temperance helps us maintain self-control, avoiding excess and imbalance in our desires. The Stoics believed that these virtues were the highest and most important values a person could cultivate. In their view, these virtues alone determine the quality of a person's character and their moral worth. All other external factors, such as wealth, health, social status, or personal achievements, were regarded as indifference because they hold no intrinsic value in shaping a person's moral integrity. These external factors are temporary, fleeting, and beyond our complete control, and thus, they cannot define who we truly are or determine our happiness. Wealth, for example, can be gained or lost, and health can fluctuate, but they do not inherently contribute to a person's moral character. Similarly, social status or public acclaim may offer temporary satisfaction, but they do not equate to a virtuous life. According to Stoic thought, a person may possess great material wealth or high social status, but if they lack wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, they are not truly virtuous or fulfilled. In fact, the pursuit of these indifference can lead to a life of superficiality and frustration, as they do not lead to lasting happiness or inner peace. For the Stoics, true fulfillment comes not from external possessions or fleeting pleasures, but from living a life of virtue, acting in accordance with reason and cultivating moral excellence in every situation. A person who embodies wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, regardless of their external circumstances, is truly rich in spirit. They are unshaken by the vicissitudes of life and find their contentment in the pursuit of moral and intellectual growth, not in material gains. Living virtuously means aligning our actions with our highest values, no matter the external rewards or consequences. This philosophy teaches that real happiness is achieved not by the accumulation of wealth or the pursuit of status, but by cultivating inner excellence and living with integrity. By dedicating ourselves to virtue, we can find peace and fulfillment that is unaffected by external conditions. It is in the cultivation of virtue that we discover the deepest sense of meaning and purpose in life, creating a lasting and unshakable foundation for true contentment. Example 1. Consider a wealthy businessman who loses his fortune overnight due to an economic crisis. A Stoic would not despair but instead reflect on the fact that true happiness and worth are found in his character, not his financial status. He would focus on rebuilding his life with integrity and resilience. Example 2. A soldier in battle faces a critical decision, whether to abandon their comrades to save themselves or stay and fight despite the danger. A Stoic soldier values courage and loyalty above personal safety, choosing to act in accordance with virtue rather than fear. Example 3. A judge presiding over a difficult case must resist political pressure and public opinion, focusing solely on delivering justice. They understand that external factors such as wealth and power hold no real value compared to upholding ethical principles. In Stoicism, the pursuit of virtue is seen as the ultimate goal. Material wealth and social success are considered fleeting and outside the scope of a person's moral worth. True happiness comes from embodying virtue in our actions and decisions. For Amor Fati, love of fate, a fundamental and transformative belief in Stoic philosophy is Amor Fati, which translates to love of fate. This principle teaches us not only to accept the events and circumstances of life but to embrace them fully, even when they are difficult, painful, or challenging. The essence of Amor Fati lies in the understanding that every event, whether perceived as good or bad, is a necessary part of the natural order and contributes to our growth and development. For the Stoics, this concept goes beyond simple acceptance. It calls for a deep love and appreciation of the life we are given, with all its unpredictability, challenges, and hardships. Rather than resisting or lamenting the difficulties and misfortunes that arise in our lives, Stoicism encourages us to see them as integral and meaningful components of our journey. The Stoic sage does not wish to avoid or escape hardship but rather welcomes it as an opportunity for personal transformation and self-improvement. This mindset shifts our relationship with adversity, allowing us to view even the most challenging situations as opportunities to practice and refine our virtues, such as patience, resilience, and courage. By embracing Amor Fati, we come to understand that life is a series of interconnected events, each contributing to our character and understanding. Every struggle or setback is not merely an obstacle to be overcome but a lesson to be learned, a chance to develop inner strength and wisdom. When we adopt this perspective, we stop fighting against the natural flow of life, accepting that each moment, whether joyful or painful, is an essential part of our growth. In doing so, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and tranquility as we are no longer disturbed by life's inevitable difficulties. This Stoic approach to life emphasizes the importance of living in harmony with the world as it is, rather than wishing it were different. It fosters a mindset of gratitude and mindfulness, allowing us to appreciate the richness and complexity of life, even in its more challenging aspects. By loving our fate, we acknowledge that everything, even suffering, has value in shaping who we become. This acceptance leads to a profound sense of inner peace, as we no longer waste energy resisting what cannot be changed and instead focus on how we can grow from it. In practice, Amor Fati encourages us to live each day with an open heart, ready to face whatever may come, knowing that all experiences, good and bad, are opportunities for growth. It teaches us to find joy in life's imperfections and to appreciate the journey, rather than seeking to control or escape from it. Example 1. If a Stoic athlete suffers a career-ending injury, they do not waste time lamenting their lost opportunities. Instead, they see it as a chance to develop new skills, perhaps by becoming a coach or mentor. Example 2. A writer who experiences repeated rejections from publishers does not see these setbacks as failures but as learning experiences. They refine their craft, persevere, and use each rejection as motivation to improve. Example 3. An individual diagnosed with a chronic illness does not resent their condition but instead finds ways to adapt and live meaningfully despite limitations, using their experience to inspire and help others. By embracing Amor Fati, Stoics are able to live with acceptance and gratitude, seeing every event, no matter how difficult, as an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. 5. Memento Mori, remembering mortality. One of the most powerful and profound teachings of Stoic philosophy is the concept of memento mori, which translates to remember that you must die. This principle is rooted in the Stoic understanding of the transient nature of life, encouraging us to regularly contemplate our mortality in order to live with greater purpose, mindfulness, and appreciation. The Stoics believed that by acknowledging the inevitability of death, we are reminded of the fleeting nature of our time on earth, which in turn helps us prioritize what truly matters. Memento Mori is not meant to be a morbid or depressing practice. Rather, it serves as a catalyst for focusing on what is most important. Life is unpredictable and often short, so the Stoic philosopher encourages us to use our limited time wisely, avoiding the distractions of trivial concerns and fleeting desires. By keeping our mortality at the forefront of our minds, we become more aware of the preciousness of each moment and the opportunities we have to live authentically and meaningfully. This contemplation of death is an invitation to live with greater intentionality. Instead of procrastinating, wasting time on unimportant matters, or dwelling on things beyond our control, we are called to engage fully with life, embracing our responsibilities, relationships, and values. We recognize that our time is finite, and each moment is an opportunity to live according to our principles, to make ethical decisions, and to contribute to the greater good. The Stoics believed that by reflecting on death, we can cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the time we have, as well as a profound sense of urgency to act in ways that align with our higher values. When we remember that life can be cut short at any moment, we are less likely to take it for granted. Instead, we focus on living with integrity, pursuing our goals, nurturing our relationships, and contributing to the well-being of others, knowing that our time is limited. Memento mori also helps us develop resilience in the face of loss, pain, and uncertainty. The awareness of our mortality does not make us fearful of death, but rather encourages us to live without regret, to embrace challenges, and to face adversity with courage. When we accept that death is an inevitable part of life, we become less attached to superficial concerns and more focused on the things that truly bring meaning and fulfillment. Ultimately, the practice of memento mori serves as a reminder that we are not immortal, and thus we should live each day with purpose, making the most of the time we have. It teaches us to prioritize what is truly valuable, our relationships, our growth, and our contributions, so that when our time comes, we can look back with peace, knowing that we lived fully and authentically. Example 1. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on his mortality to keep his priorities aligned with what truly mattered. Today, we can apply this by cherishing every moment with our loved ones, treating each interaction as if it could be our last. Example 2. A firefighter who risks their life to save others embodies memento mori, understanding that their time is limited and should be spent in service to others. Example 3. An entrepreneur who dreams of launching a business does not hesitate out of fear of failure but instead takes decisive action, knowing that time is precious and must not be squandered. Remembering mortality encourages us to live with intention, not letting fear or uncertainty hold us back from pursuing what truly matters in life. Conclusion. Stoicism offers a timeless philosophy that teaches resilience, wisdom, and ethical living. By focusing on what we can control, aligning with nature, prioritizing virtue, embracing fate, and remembering our mortality, we develop a mindset that enables us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and purpose. Whether facing personal struggles, professional challenges, or societal pressures, Stoicism provides the tools to cultivate inner peace, strength, and clarity, allowing us to lead more meaningful and fulfilling lives. Thank you for watching What is Stoicism? A comprehensive guide to understanding and applying Stoic philosophy. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to Stoicism for more content on Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.